Hello, listeners. Welcome to day 26. I am Sophia Worrell and I want to speak on the topic. So, what if we didn't come here willingly? Yesterday, I gave a background to the reasons many groups of people legally immigrated to America. It was a large new space of land that they had heard about and they all wanted a fresh start. The two main reasons I cited was that these groups of people migrated to America was for religious freedom and to build up this nation through employment. There were groups of European people who became indentured servants, which meant that they gave their labor to an employer by signing or being forced into contracted work without pay for a period of time. Others were sent from England as punishment because they were convicts in that land. I also cited persons from Asia and China that were barred at many points from entry. So people from Africa were not the only ones who had troubles and certainly were not the only ones who came and built America. All ethnic groups did their fair share. For this reason, it is irrelevant that people of African descent came here as slaves against their will. The fact is simply this: their children are born on the soil and are American citizens, just as those who came here willingly and their children are born in this country and are also American citizens. Slavery is ended, and it is time for people of African descent to grow up, whether we want to or not. It is of the utmost importance that we take time to understand the great country that our children are born into. We have been too blinded by what happened to our ancestors instead of appreciating the work that many freedom fighters gave their lives for and all that they fought to accomplish. Let us look at some of those names today. People like Frederick Douglass, Harriet Tubman, Booker T. Washington, W.E.B. Du Bois, Thurgood Marshall, Sojourner Truth, and Malcolm X. Let's not all let all the work that they did be for nothing. And we certainly cannot allow the stance of Rosa Parks and the life and death of the great Martin Luther King Jr. to be in vain. And what about the election of President Barack Obama? But sadly, this is what is happening. And it is a shame that not even with his election, which was not for just one term, but two, that we still want to go on with this pointless stance. There are laws against racism, where no one can deliberately go out and hurt anyone because of who they are and what they represent. No one can prevent anyone from worshiping or working because of what they have done or their choice of lifestyle. There are laws written because this is a country of many diverse groups of people, and we all make up one nation under God, and every system is set up for the freedom and rights of all people and not just for one select group of people. This is what makes America the great nation in the world and what makes being an American citizen or resident the greatest honor to become. To be clear, no person who is of African descent really has a desire to go back to impoverished, war-torn Africa. In fact, when the Jamaican-born Marcus Garvey tried to organize a Back to African campaign, it flopped and he was entirely, without a doubt, unsuccessful in his efforts to sway anyone to do so. Although people of African descent was complaining about the country, no one wanted to leave then and certainly does not want to leave now. On the other hand, many people all over the world have caught the vision of our founding fathers and do expect their children who are born here to appreciate what those fearless men were aiming to achieve and actually did. It is with this in mind that I gave the previous list of groups of people who fled the nation of their birth and came to this land. I have given you many historical lessons throughout this course, and in like fashion will do so for those who take this great United States of America for granted. The propaganda teachings focuses only on the negative aspects of this country and fail to inform people of the positive features of America and why it truly is the land of the brave and free, as well as the land of opportunity where dreams can come true. That is why I have appealed to those of you who are listening to go read for yourself and not depend on the media, any minister or leader to give you information. Any good teacher asks the student to go read for themselves. Any good speaker tells the individual to go and check out whatever they're saying or have said to prove the authenticity of what has been spoken. And I am telling you no less now. Pick up books and read. Select articles that are reputable and check all angles of an argument. Take up history books and read for yourself. Listen to reporters and journalists from all networks before coming to a conclusion. Listen to teachers, ministers, and people, but verify the information that you are being fed. What I have presented here so far is just a tip of the iceberg. You have to go and read the details from all kinds of authors and people and not just take anything at face value or limit yourself to certain authors. I know that we of African descent favor a socialist program that offers handouts, but it is time that we see how much it is hurting our children. It is all a trap and prevent us from getting up and building ourselves and our children. The coronavirus pandemic has brought to light and has exposed how we are being hurt by our habit of seeking to be taken care of instead of getting up and making the effort to improve who we are and where we live. Housing projects do not serve us or our children, and we will never build any wealth dependent on an allotted sum of money that does not fully support our household. I have heard that white men has laid traps for people who are black. In fact, African Americans or people of African descent, however, say this all of the time. And my question is, if we are aware that it is a trap, why are we lured into it and fall for the carrot dangling in front of us when we know that it isn't leading us anywhere good? This tells me that we are stupid and ignorant, and that is why we cannot seem to earn any respect. But no more, no more. This is only the first wave. There's a time coming when all of these social programs will be eradicated. The question is whether we will wait for it to happen or we will finally do something about it and use this course to prepare for the inevitable. We cannot allow ourselves to be snared by obvious traps anymore, but must be aware that there are many of us of African descent that are now being stereotyped with those who act barbaric and unintelligent. And their thug-like behavior is not what we want represented of our culture anymore. Why? Because this is not God's way. This is not the American way, and it is time to build a culture that is peaceful, loving, and kind. Thank you.